This video, I'm gonna show you the last step to set up the workstation like this. Okay. So in my workstation, I can actually move my mouse from here, right, in any screen, and then I can also move my mouse from this laptop to the other laptop, which is a Linux machine. Okay. So this is achievable by using this tool called Synergy. Okay. So you go to the Synergy website and then download that. Okay, so go into Get Synergy. You can get one for Windows. That's not free. If it's a Linux version, then it's free. I'll show you how to get the Linux version in this video as well. Okay, so once you get the Windows version, install that, you get this sort of page like this tool. Yeah, or you open up this tool basically. So it's not easy to set up if you are not familiar with it, or maybe it's not so easy for me at the very beginning. There is one trick that you need to do, which is going to settings. So name your system without any hyphen or whatever, just make it simple, and then set the port number to 21, for example. Okay, that's an important step. So step number 1, go into edit settings and then define a screen name, set it to 21 for example, and then click OK. And then if you want to configure this one as server, then just say configure server, and then you get this screen. Okay, so then you define this server, and then you need to define a slave as well. So this slave, you can just drag something and drop it in here, and then double click that to open. Give it a name. This name has to be something that you are going to use later. Okay, so that's the name of the slave. Okay, so I set this up and then click OK. Then afterwards I can click apply to apply it. Okay, so that's here, that's the server. And then on this slave, because this is a Linux machine, to install Synergy, you just do like going to terminal. Okay, and then that's my terminal. You type sudo apt-get apt install Synergy, and then hit enter, and then just provide your username password. Okay, so that's free. After you do that, you've got Synergy over here. Okay, so if I sort of say Synergy, okay, so that's here. So then I can start it up, and that gives you this window like this. Okay, again, you need to go on to edit and settings, give it a screen name. So this is the exact screen name that we use over the over here that we define. Okay, so we define the slave as gear, for example. In here, we also need to define that as gear, and then we also need to set the port to 21 because that's what we set earlier. Okay, so once you do that, then you click set this one as a client, and then put the IP in. Okay, so that IP is available on the server. Okay, so it's available over here. You just type that IP in and then hit start, and afterwards you're good to go. Okay, so 3 steps over here. You need to go to the server and go to edit, and then set that up. To the client, go to edit and set this up with the same port number. Okay, with the slave name and the server name like this. Okay, so that's step number 1. Step number 2, in configure server, you put the server machine and the slave machine over here. Okay, so then the slave machine has to match the name of your slave. That's step number 2. And then afterwards, you start the server over here, and then on the slave, you need to match the IP and then start that, and that will work. That gives you the synergy for you to do something like this. Okay, So that shares my mouse and keyboard over two machines. The reason I do this rather than having multiple machines attached to this particular machine, multiple monitors attached to this machine, is because then I can utilize two machines. So I wouldn't overload this machine with lots of, I don't know, like my video card is really good, but I still don't want to overload that too much. And then I can use another machine that I have, just reuse that. Basically, I can then use two systems. I've got a Windows and I've got a Linux, so that I can just get used to Linux every now and then, okay? And also use Windows, get used to Windows every now and then, okay? Depending on which one you're familiar with. So then there you go. Yeah, you can just set it up like this. And the last step, okay? So for example, for somebody who's not very familiar with how to set up Windows like this, I've got this monitor over here, and then that's this one, and then that's that one. Third one is the one above. And then in my Linux, over here, I need to type display. Screen display? Yeah. So by default, it gives me this extended view, okay, which gives me that, okay. So that's the default. If it's not, then you need to set it up, okay. So there you go. That's the workstation that you can get like this, okay. So then, yeah, just use as many screens as possible. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Just use many screens, okay. So hope you enjoy this and have fun.